Hey, good evening. I'm your host, DonArmando, and this is Open Topics with DonArmando. Tonight, I'm doing a little bit different. I'm hosting a debate between Johnny Appleseed and Hebrew Line. So, anybody that wants to chime in, I put the link in the post description. So, therefore, we could have this debate on and popping. Okay, I'm back. Still trying to see who's coming to come to this debate because I know that Hebrew Line has some interesting points, and Johnny Appleseed has some interesting point as well. So I know this is going to be a good debate. With that said, I am currently overseas. Where I am at overseas will be my haters' nightmares, but they can't say one thing about me. Even though I have a passport, I do not qualify as a passport bro because my ethnic lines are within this country. And two, I'm here having a nice, good vacation while handling some family stuff here in where I'm at. So we could actually call this the international edition of the Open Topics with DonArmando show. With that said, I'm just I'm just living it up in a hot country. So that's all I'm saying. Why it keeps kicking me off or anything like that, but it looks like that in my personal life, one of my friend's brothers, he recently passed away. So we don't know what's going on or anything like that. So I actually keep my bro and his family in prayers. That's all I'm saying. Today was a good day. I went up and I saw cousins that I didn't know that I had. Ate a good soup too. So I could actually say that everything that I did, I was in good spirits today. So with that said, I wonder where Johnny Appleseed is at, and I wonder where Hebrew Line is at. So let's stick around and see. Mm. Hmm. Let's see. Where's everybody at? I think I might have to turn the light on. Something like that. Yep. Yeah, bienvenido pa República Dominicana. Estoy aquí, ya tú sabes, con pila de mi gente, familiares y todo. So, so, I see that we have three viewers. So get them likes up, and I'm trying to see what's going on. All right, since I'm back. All right, since I'm back, I'm just trying to see what's been going on and who's been. I guess there's nobody coming to the stream tonight. And I thought that I was going to actually have a stream or something like that, but I don't see any of the parties coming up. So I'm just actually going to try to hold this down for an hour, the most. In other news, I was actually trying to say that as far as the comedian George Lopez is concerned, you've actually been, I guess, quote unquote, the gatekeeper of Latino comedians. And a lot of people have called him out because of this, because I guess he has a lot of beef with other Latino comedians. And even Joe Rogan has said that George actually put hands on Carlos Mencia. So I've heard that there was a beef back in the day. So I hope somebody could actually elaborate, I guess, from the West Coast. And people were mad because I guess he stole jokes or whatever the case may be. I know prior to that, Joe Rogan was, I guess, a comedian with the heavy martial arts background. So that's why I guess his podcast is very interesting. And one thing I could actually say is that now, well, the update that I've been hearing of the Andrew Tate case is that one of the princes from Dubai is actually trying to get the release of him and his brother in Romania because it doesn't make sense that ever since December, we're almost near April, that they haven't found any evidence regarding Andrew Tate or what he's actually done. So, with that said, there's a lot of media speculations and everything, and we don't know how the Romanian government does when it concerns black people or people of color in general. So, hopefully, if I could actually get in contact with somebody who is Romanian or has knowledge of the Romanian court system, I'll try to invite them to my show. So, therefore, we could actually learn about Slavic laws and how we as Americans could protect ourselves from that if we ever get into a debacle in a foreign country. It's, al- it's always good when you actually go to other countries to learn their laws and everything like that and be respectful towards its people. Now, if you go to a country and do what the passport bros did, not respecting the women, you want to go and ask women disrespectful questions, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get run out of that country. You got to think good. You got to thank God that you wasn't done alive in Brazil, because in Brazil they play with a lot of stuff seriously, unlike the United States. And I think the passport bros should have actually did the research because Brazil has a high unalivement rate because it has a lot of street organizations that will actually send you out on your way, whether you like it or not. So for anybody that wants to be a passport bro or consider themselves a passport bro, one thing you have to do is you have to respect the countries that you're visiting. At least try to learn the customs, the laws. So that way, if you feel like you want to live in that country or visit that country another time, what you can do is respect the laws. So that way, your life will be easier. Don't go with the American ignorant mindset of disrespecting people or whatever you might have learned from the streets. Because in some of these countries, the streets are the real streets, and they do not play for keeps. I'm telling you that right now. You're coming into a country where you don't have your typical things of defense, and you don't know, and sometimes certain people they don't know the language. So when you come to a place where you don't know the language and you want to talk disrespectful towards people, 9 times out of 10, people that actually know the language and who are educated, they're gonna call you out like they did these so-called passport bros. Well, I would like to with the passport gang, you know, where 50 Cent will be going to everywhere in the world. So with that said, people could call themselves passport bros, just be with the passport gang. So that way you could actually go to Europe, Asia, the Caribbean. Well, places that are not owned by the United States. So that way you can actually immerse yourself in a lot of cultures and maintain business connections also. That's very important and key when you go to these places if you are a businessman. So it pays to be very well centered around the world and everything. Because you have certain individuals that could speak five languages and you could only speak one. It's a it's a blessing that I could actually speak two, even though I speak the second one badly. So when you try to speak the when you try to be bilingual, it's better that you actually immerse yourself in the culture, like I have. I mean, you have certain people that they have their ways or whatever. I mean, I'm speaking from a standpoint because both of my parents, God rest their souls, they were both from the Dominican Republic. And instead of how certain people would send their kids to Disney World and everything, I always went to the Dominican Republic, you know, to see who my cousins were, see how my parents lived, see see the struggles of what my cousins went through. Well, I believe when I was very little, and certain people could actually vouch for it, I used to feel the joy when apagones is when the lights go out, and every time apagon happened, there was no electricity, so we had to be with our own devices. There was no phones, there was nothing. So therefore, you just had to go chill, relax, and sometimes apagon usually happened when it rained. So therefore, after it rained and everything, good evening, Don Jose. After it rained in the Dominican Republic, and there was like 9 times out of 10 when I was growing up, and even to my teenage years, that the light would never come back on until the next day. Or if it did come on, it was such a joy that the lights came on because you could actually do stuff now, watch television, etc. So I could actually say, me being out here, the situation is actually quite better than it was when I was a kid and a teenager visiting here. But we have to. There's a lot of stuff that I could actually see, which a lot of the Hispano types are not talking about. You could talk about the Hispano types could talk about all the negative stuff, you know, promoting their prejudiced views on life on the population, which they themselves they don't have no official standing, nor they cannot even maintain an apartment. Getting kicked out all so often from what people tell them. So if a person cannot maintain the place that they live at, how can you maintain a nation when you don't have a house or never lived in a setting where you was raised in a house? Number one. Number two, a lot of these Hispano types do not know laws or not even well versed in law, whether it be in the United States or the Dominican Republic. So with that said, they want to go and push the fantasy of a Spain that doesn't exist anymore. The Spanish Empire was destroyed in 1898. Well, let's just say it was destroyed in the 19th century, to be honest, almost going towards the 20th century. So, with that said, when you talk about the Portuguese and Spanish empires, which the Portuguese was mainly Brazil, Africa, and Asia. That was their empires, to my knowledge. So when you had those competing empires, and then we're talking about the British Empire too, the Dutch, and other competing powers during that time, when you talking about the dealings with Japan and the Portuguese that actually helped the Thai royalty, even though Thai royalty never really been conquered. So if you actually look at it from a standpoint, all these empires are not, well, except maybe the Dutch. I'm just going to be honest. Because the Dutch, they still have some control of the West Indies and the French Empire. Or we could just call it the French nation because the French Empire or royal family was actually destroyed during the later 18th century, to be honest. So, with all these territories and everything, you have to go and sit back and look. What are they gaining on promoting an old empire? Like it's a national sense of pride. And number two, they have so much hatred against people of color. But yet they're the ones that actually will not actually say it nor voice their hate. So therefore, I could actually call these Hispanotepes cowards. Because I actually seen a Hispanotep at the Dominican parade, the main one. He actually talks about people. He actually told a black man that, oh, your ancestors had leaves around their privates. Okay. But when you was actually at the Dominican parade and there was certain people of my skin color and darker, he was not saying that. He was actually looking afraid. I'm just gonna keep it 100. You were looking afraid. So therefore, my respect level, well, I never had any respect for you in the beginning. Let's be honest. My respect level for you, I just saw you as a coward. And I still do. People could go around and say whatever they can about me. But guess what? I have proved time and time again I am who I say I am. Certain people want to doubt my ethnicity. And I know the science of that why, of the reason why. I broke it down in certain other YouTubers and other YouTubers on live streams why certain people think like that. And you have certain people that do not see past their ignorance. They talk about a fake opulence that they could never have. They want to be in a table where 9 times out of 10 you're going to get kicked out of. And me, I'm actually progressive. Instead of talking about viewpoints of certain people, of where, regardless of phenotype or anything, and it looks like that none of these guys are none the wiser. They're not richer than me, because if they were, they won't be on YouTube. Let's keep it a buck. So with that said, if you see somebody or certain individuals They want to tell you a dream of their biased on reality. Take note on how they're living in real life. Some of them are actually mentally deranged. And look at all the other platforms that they be on. Are they respected or they're not? Me personally, I couldn't care if I'm respected or not by other people. I don't care if I'm respected by disrespectful people. I got a voice and I'm going to say it. And I don't care who actually disapprove of me. I don't care because 9 times out of 10, half of the people who actually hate me on YouTube don't have nothing going on in their personal life. So they want to pick and choose and become envious of, I guess, the low achievements that I've had, whether it be personal or financial. Oh, and another thing, if you have financial success, be quiet about it because you have certain people who will love to dox. Oh, by the way, shout out to Don Jose and Blazing King. Yeah. So one thing that I have to actually say is that certainly some of these people are not actually happy in their personal life. So therefore they love to see drama and bull crap. And me personally, I'm at an age that I'm too old for that crap. I'm not gonna go act like when I was 20. I'm gonna act my age for real right now. I'm gonna try and do things people that are my age do. I'm not gonna go and try to fit in with the younger people who are basically throwing their lives away. So therefore, you have to hold yourself to a certain accord. If you're older or you consider yourself an elder, you have to act like an elder. And in my and certain people may not get that, but then you have to be a person of respect. Because when I was growing up, you had people who had that vestige of respect. Even to this day, I have people that I consider my OGs that had that respect. So with all said and done, and what Don Jose was actually commenting on his stream about what baby boomers did or the mistakes that they made, let's be honest, all the generations made mistakes. But then the thing is, though, we have to learn from it. Like my mother used to tell me, the stuff that you did, I'm trying to forget. So that means that most of the stuff that you might have done or might have did, your parents might have done, and they're trying to forget. Or there's stuff that you think that you know better than your parents. Well, 9 times out of 10, you really don't. But then again, one thing I've actually say is that in other cultures, I guess that when you see certain people who are successful, I guess because of tiger parenting or whatever the case may be. You have to look at it. How successful their kids are, and then also what their place are in the world, like how people interact with them. So, with that said, you have to look at various different cultures who are successful within the United States and how they actually became successful, their ethos, and also how they generally interact with people. I see that there's 7 people in the building. Hit the likes up. Share this live stream if you can. I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. Not a bottle of water in the Caribbean. I could tell you it's the best thing, man. There's nothing better than fresh, ice cold water while you're in the Caribbean. Yeah. So, with those standpoints, I'm not going to go and tell you I'm the most educated guy in the world because I'm not. But I'm not going to tell you to follow another uneducated guy that really wants to talk about the alpha male complex when the fact is he's scared to meet anybody that he actually challenged. Let's be honest. It's mostly several of these Hispanotep YouTubers. Well, matter of fact, I'll put it in the description where I'm at. So I got the chat link in the description. Anybody's welcome to come through. But one thing I'm just gonna say, make sure you cam up. And I just want to see who you are. Yep. Get them likes up. 7 people in the building. Yep. Well, yesterday, a famous Dominican musician by the name of Blasco Down, he passed away because of his several infirmities. So shout out to him. and his memory. Please pray for his family. So, in the merengue world, in bachata world, of this great man, of this great musician's passing. Hmm. Yo, Boise, I got a question for you. Like, you're Jamaican, right? And I would like to go out there one day because certain people could actually say, "Oh yeah, they've been to Jamaica," when they actually haven't. So, if I was to make a music video out in Jamaica, which will be the best scenic places to actually make a video in Jamaica, to your opinion? Oh yeah, and shout out to the homie Bijano Sound. Great rapper, great producer. So I'm actually blasting him up on my platform. So if anybody wants some prime beats and everything like that, I'm talking about all my rappers, R&B singers. Go to my homie Bijano Sound. I'm telling you, Montego Bay and Kingston. All right, that's what's up. I mean, I think that my sister been to Montego Bay. No, it wasn't Montego Bay. It was in the girl that she actually went to. All right, so therefore, I actually shoot that idea for some people that I know who are videographers. So, for all you rappers out here, go to Montego Bay and Kingston and check in with chiefs out there. Literally, the bosses. Hmm. I wonder where Johnny Appleseed and Hebrew Lines at, because I would actually like to see this debate. Hey, Don Jose, how you doing?
Good evening. What happened to the debate?
I went up and I told Johnny Appleseed and Hebrew Line to come through yesterday, but I don't know what's happening. Maybe they're busy or they forgot about it. So therefore, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try to do this show and actually do it on myself and see what happens. But other than that, how's everything doing, Don Jose, out there in New York?
Okay.
Yeah, even
All
though it's
right.
hot
All
out
right.
here.
Well,
Yo,
Oh no,
Blazing
that
King,
means it's another quality.
hit me up on Discord because of that, because I have some ideas about it, about certain stuff. Maybe we can network.
Mhm. Well, things like that do happen. They were not able to keep their appointment to let you know, say something came up.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So therefore,
Actually, I
I'm
didn't
just gonna
think
still keep pushing.
yeah, yeah.
Because the thing is, just like,
Actually, I didn't think the stream was gonna last. Go ahead.
yeah, I was like, yo, I'm like, you know what? At first, I even forgot about the stream. I'm gonna be honest because it was like my wife, me and her were talking, and she was like, "Aren't you gonna do a stream tonight?" I was like, "Oh crap, yes." So I just did it. I'm like, all right, let's see what comes out of it.
Hmm. Right.
So yesterday, I could actually say it
Well,
was a good
actually,
stream with
I'm
between Zacharias and Johnny Appleseed, and we were actually talking about Peg Leg Moore, Norman, well Morgan, and all the other people who are maybe infamous in their lifetime.
okay.
What you about to say, Don Jose?
Well, actually, the stream that I did last night, it was originally scheduled for Sunday night. However, I had to change it because Denise had some last minute plans that she had to keep, and the whole point was to have like a dialogue between generations regarding the mistakes that baby boomers have made.
Um,
So, but it's true. All generations make mistakes. That's true. Some of them are more obvious than others.
yeah,
So,
I mean, if you actually look at it, I'm just saying as far as the dialogue and everything. Certain people, they still stuck in their ways and they will not have a respectful dialogue because they feel that their way is the only way.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, sometimes when people get older, they're not willing to change. And it makes it very difficult, especially when you're trying to interact with younger generations. So that's why, we all have to adapt from time to time.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to be doing an interesting stream tomorrow night regarding what are those things of the opposite sex that annoy you. So basically, I'm going to have to talk about the things that men do that annoy women, and
Right.
I'm going to talk about the things that women do to annoy men.
Oh, yes. There's several. So, there's certain, like, for example, right? Not to be in a funny tip or anything. You got some women that they could talk all this stuff, right? They talk about, their rights and everything like that. And I believe that everybody should have their rights. But if you actually look at it, most of these women that they want like a higher lifestyle and everything like that, 9 times out of 10 they got a mustache thicker than mine. So that's one thing that I could actually say is annoying. If I was single, I'm just saying, no offense to women who identify as hairy, but if if I'm gonna go date a woman, if I was single, because I'm married now, but in my single days, if I was gonna go and get with a female that had a thicker mustache than mine, I wouldn't have think that that relationship is going to work because I'm supposed to have the mustache in the relationship, not you.
Well, you
But
know,
that's how I woke up.
well, you know what? There could be like a medical condition. Why that
I
is?
mean, yeah, yeah, I could understand that if it's a medical condition, but if it's like a female that that that's cool with having more hair than a guy in her face, I'm like, yeah, next, because sometimes certain people they have hormonal issues.
Yeah,
So, and I've actually seen it in some women that they actually had some goatees.
yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a woman in Britain that has like a full beard.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think her name is Carr or something like that. So she identifies with the Sikh religion.
Uh-huh.
So she has like a full grown beard.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if she were to shave it off, you could tell that she is a beautiful woman, but she just got a thicker beard than most of us. I'm gonna be honest.
Hmm. Well, like I said before, I mean, it could be a medical condition. So, I mean, look, when you think about it, let me just, it's funny. A perfect example of this was 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, where
Right.
you um big big what's it, Big Ed, which is more like no neck,
Yep.
cheating on Rose's case because she had hairy legs. Well, he
Right.
lost.
Ramon.
Hey Armando, what's going on? Hey Don Jose, what's happening?
Well, guess what? You know where I'm at. Where all these Hispanos taps say that I'm not from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're at a place where you actually have regular weather. I mean, kind of like real weather that is conducive to life. Not you're not in the Arctic like Jose. I
First of
mean,
all, okay. First of all, right now it's 45 degrees outside, so it's springtime.
Yeah.
it's still chilly. That's still chilly. I
Not
mean,
chilly.
it's not like in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, when you can actually feel the warmth of the sun, that it gives
Yeah.
light. When you actually can go to the beach and go to an actual beach, and not not what you got in New York. That is kind of like muddy water. The
First of
beach
all,
is
we have
it's a bunch of
first,
muddy water there. Hmm.
first of all we have beaches. We have Orchard Beach. We have
Yeah,
White-
Chocha Beach. Yeah,
yeah.
Chocha Beach. I know.
No, but talking about Orchard Beach, I haven't been there since for 20 years because of a personal note. I lost a friend out there, so I just made a vow I'm never going to that beach again.
Ah, okay. I see. I see.
It's a beautiful beach. The beach is clean. The water is pristine. You can see the floor.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh,
What part of the
not,
what part of the
not,
island?
not,
What part of the country are
not,
you at?
not for nothing. Not for nothing. You can see the floor when you're in the Dominican Republic, where I'm at right now. It will never compare nothing to Churchill Beach, which is dirty. I'm just keeping it honest.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's muddy water. It's like when I was living in Mississippi. I wouldn't get into the water. I was down by the coast, but I wouldn't get into the water because it was all muddy. I mean, it was muddy water all the time. I wouldn't touch that water. I mean,
Wait a
that's
minute.
why.
Wait a minute. It was muddy. It was muddy. Dag. I'm just saying because I haven't been there for like years. I'm
Well,
talking about 30 years.
I
Because
was
basically,
told. Uh-huh.
because it's like okay, you know like where you get the shrimps at right in Gulfport, right?
Hmm.
I remember when I was a kid that the water, the water quality was actually very. It wasn't like the Caribbean, but it was very pristine. You know what I'm trying to say? Very blue. It was not like New York. So so to say that it's actually muddy water, like I guess during that beach land where
It's
the
like that
hotel
now.
was at, I was like, dag.
No,
I guess I have
it's like that
to
these days. It's like that these days. I was told that it used to look better, but a hurricane or a storm hit the coast, and the water was never the same after that. And the time that
yeah.
I lived there, if you wanted to see somewhat clear water, you will have to go to Ship Island, which is kind of like the key. It's kind of like a key, like a little island that you go there by boat, and then you can
Yeah.
swim there. But the water is kind of green. It's kind of greenish. It's not very appealing. I mean, you can swim there, but it's not the same as
Yeah.
our
I
Caribbean beaches. Hmm.
Okay.
I
But
mean,
you,
it was kind of green when I was growing up out there. So
Hmm.
that when it was like an aqua color when I was growing up there. So the water was actually good.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah. And the thing is, though, people they really started going to the beach when it was like around May and June and such because everybody they just went up and they just worked around there and you know you just had the beach right there that nobody was there until like that certain time. They didn't even have spring break over there like how people do now like up in Miami and stuff when I was growing up.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it when there was
I,
a
I,
spring break. I wouldn't drive around the coast because the cops will be out there trying to find excuses to ticket people. I wouldn't drive by the coast.
I don't know nothing about that. I just know that I'm talking about the early '90s when I was a kid. There was not so much as a spring break where teenagers was wilding out or anything like that.
Mhm.
It was just actually
Yeah.
basically nice.
No, no,
And
no. It doesn't compare. And in Miami, the whole spring break thing, they go crazy and people get shot and, and shit like that. I wouldn't go to a spring break in Miami. I mean, because that's
I
no
mean,
good.
me personally, I would not go. Even if I was in my 20s, I would not go. Spring break never was appealing to me. I don't
no,
know why, but
No, that's
but
for the kids. That's for the kind of like for the college kids.
but you know
right.
something. But you know something? On New Year's Day, we have a group of people called the Polar Bear Club. What they do is they go to Coney Island and they'll swim in the ocean.
Yeah, you're part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're part
yeah,
of it.
we.
Think about it, Ramon. You swimming in Coney Island in the
No,
wintertime.
no, no.
Nah, not
Mm-mm.
me, bro.
No, hypothermia. There is something called hypothermia. I avoid it. I mean, it will kill you.
Or
Me personally, I think it's Russians and Greeks that do that because let's put it like this: the tundra out in Russia, right, and most of those places, like, all right, there was a guy by the name I don't know if you ever watched this channel, but there's a guy who calls himself Bald and Bankrupt, right?
Mhm.
Yo, why this guy went up to like the deep before they kicked him out of Russia before the war started and such. He went to like the deepest, coldest cities in Siberia, where it was just straight, where it was just straight cold. I mean, it's to the point that you had certain places that was so cold that you cannot even see next to the past building.
Hmm.
And they were showing the region where that UFC fighter is from. I forgot his name, but his name starts with the K. The one that beat Conor McGregor.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not following it so much, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But you
Yeah,
know what?
Dagestan.
But guys, what you're missing is, like for example, in wintertime, you can go ice skating in Rockefeller Center. Wouldn't that be
Hmm.
cool?
No, no,
I mean, yeah, that sounds nice, but at the same time, I'm not trying to fall my behind.
no, no. I mean, you're risking injury, so I would
Or
recommend
Yeah,
it.
or you can go to Times Square on New Year's Eve and watch the ball drop and then be hugged and kissed by strangers.
No, no, no.
no, bro.
No, you can do that.
no,
You can do
no,
that.
no, no,
You
that
can
is
do
not
that. I'm
appealing.
not interested. No.
Nah, I'm like I could see if you get hugged and kissed by strangers if you don't have anybody in your personal life or you don't have friends
Hmm.
at all. Okay, and then that might be the first. That might be the place that you might feel alive, right? But
Hmm.
as far as me being hugged and kissed by strangers, that's not really appealing either. I'm
No,
just
but
saying.
yeah, but these days being hugged and kissed by a stranger, it will mean being getting that done by a dude. I mean, I don't want. These days, it will be that.
Yo,
No,
bro.
not a woman, but a dude will be more than willing. So,
I mean, like, like for example, right? This is what's funny, right? And I was in the gym the other day. I'm not gonna shout out the gym that I work out at, but I was in the gym the other day. So while I was in the gym, there was a weird guy that actually came up. I was like, okay, I just say he was weird because there's certain stuff that I know about younger people
hmm,
that even people in my age group don't do, white or black or Hispanic.
hmm,
Mhm.
So I guess this guy has a fixation on Frank Sinatra,
hmm. Okay.
and
Um,
it
I
was
guess.
like when I was in it was
Hmm,
like when I was in the gym. This was like maybe 3 years ago or something like that. I met this guy, and I was like, okay, so technically, he was told, hey, why don't you just go out and stuff like that. But I was like, okay, he's a little bit weird. Okay, so I gave him my phone number. The next thing you know, I'm about to go start my job, and dude just called me at 11 o'clock. I'm like, you got to go. So I went up and I changed my phone number. This was like years later. So I happened to see this guy again. I was like, yeah, I remember you. But it seems that he still has that, even though do look like he's hefty now or whatever.
hmm.
But it's like, uh, yeah, I'm just gonna go and keep it from that side because he looks like one of those serial killer types.
Oh, okay,
You know.
okay. Maybe like a stalker, somebody that you have to watch out for.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, like,
guys, you're not gonna believe who called me this weekend.
oh,
Who called you this weekend?
My ex.
What? What?
Okay,
Which one?
which one? The
Which
Dominican
one?
ex, or the Italian ex, or the
My,
German ex? No, I'm
my
joking with you.
ex-wife.
Your ex-wife.
Oh, yo, yo,
Okay, that's random.
So
You
it's
damn,
haven't
like,
talked
that's
to her in a
random.
long time.
so it's like, so she says, do you know who I am? I said, no. Can I help you? Uh, I was your wife, and it's like, so when she said that, I hung up.
Uh, you hung
Oh,
up.
yo,
Oh, that's
yo,
cold.
yo, yo. I'm just gonna go say this right there in that aspect. Okay, my ex, when I first actually started doing the live stream and everything, She actually tried to contact me. My ex, who I was with 7 years. I mean, I had to block her. So, and then I was like, and then she tried to email me, and I'm like, I'm a married man now. Can't help you with what you about to do. So it's a good thing she ain't got my phone number. Sh- I'm not even in the same mind space anymore. So I'm not gonna go and try to entertain it.
Well,
People who are my exes, some of them are respectful, some of them aren't.
well,
So
first
if
of
you can, so if a person who's an ex, right,
yeah.
and they know that you're in a good place right now, why the heck I want to be with you? That's all I got to say. And this is for people. And then talking about people and admirers and everything. In my place of employment, there was a Dominican woman that admired me just for two things, and she just made it clear of what she was just admiring me about. She just wanted money and me, right?
Mhm.
So the security guard in my job went up and told me, he's like, "Oh, this woman was asking for you." I'm like, "Who?" And then when he described her physical description, I was like, "Oh, okay. So what did that person had to say?" Now, the person was saying, "Oh, how's Mario and everything like that." I guess in a broken, I guess in a broken English because she can't really speak English. So the guard went up and said, "Well, he's all right. You know that he's married now." You know what the broad went up and actually said? He said, she said, "I'm going to take him away from his wife."
Uh, no, well, that is that thing because there are women that see, okay, they don't look at it logically. They see a man who they like, and even if he's married, then they still feel like they have a chance because it's a competition thing. There are women that see men that are married as being more interesting than single ones because a married man already has something going on, and she wants to be able to interfere with that or get in between that.
Yo, yo.
There are women that are like that. They find that
Yep.
more interesting when the man has already something going on and he already is spoken for and he's already in a commitment. He wants to come in and break that up. It's a competition thing.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, right? I'm not gonna go like in my place of work, right? And it's so apparent that it's like I try to not even have contact with certain women in my job.
Hmm.
There's a woman with a higher position than I am, right? So so I just so one day, right, without being properly introduced, she picked me out of a whole bunch of men.
Hmm.
Where it was like, "Oh yeah, you're Mario, right?" I'm like, "How does this chick know my name?" I For any lady that even tries or anything like that, I always put the picture. I'm like, "Yeah, this is me. This is my wife." I just let people from the get go know you're not gonna get me if that's your intention.
Hmm.
So it's kind of weird or creepy, but
Hmm.
it's like, okay, for example, I could be talking to my fellow colleagues at work, right? Then the next thing you know, the woman who has the higher position than me will be looking at me and just gazing at me for nowhere. It'll be like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right?
Hmm.
And then the next thing you know, she will try to say hi or something like that. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going, but this is one method that I've actually have done for years, and it's worked. Act dumb and just act like you don't know what's going on. but you know what's going on. You got my drift?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Another time. This is before I left to the Caribbean. So I went up and I'm talking to my colleagues again. Little that you know, the person with the higher position was looking in awe just with what I was doing. Now I wasn't saying nothing really profound because if I did, I would have known that I was saying something profound. But you know that you have certain not so secret admirers around the table. With that said, if I know that I have certain people that feel that way, I'm not gonna go and put my best foot forward for anything. I'm just gonna do my work and go home. Because at the end of the day, none of these people they will not really want to get to know you. They just see a person in you that I don't know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but personage of you or anything like that, but they don't know the real you. So at the end of the day, I'm just gonna keep it respectful.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing. I don't do nothing. And if I see certain funny things that actually are occurring because of me not feeding into certain people's um, frenzy or whatever the case may be, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna relax, fall back, and just do me.
mhm. Well, then,
Cause I'm just saying in a professional manner that I just work, go home, and be with my wife.
All right. All right.
well, so after I hung up on my ex-wife, she texts me, "Oh, I just wanted to say hello. I'm here in New York. You shouldn't be angry. People need to forgive. Blah 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 blah." I don't have a
Okay.
problem. Okay, I don't have a problem with forgiving. The thing is this: she made life impossible while we were married, and then when we're
Right.
getting divorced. So I have
Right.
moved on. So why you wait 11 years later or 12 years later to call me?
I'm gonna tell you why. And this is what happens to some women, not all. And we all men could actually agree to this. Even you, Blasian. When you give some women, you know, a nice life, and then, you know, sometimes they could be mad or whatever, right? When they start remembering the good times that you was sweet, that you was actually, you know, kind and everything, they want that back because they feel after you break up with them and everything, they feel that they will never get that thing back. So therefore they see what they're wrong in. They see how they messed up now. They know that there was immature. Some people will change and some people won't. But now, but certain people will not grasp that you have moved on. Even if it will be 11 years, it might be 500 years. I'm just joking with that part. But
Mhm.
the thing is, though, you have certain people that they just only remember the good times, but they want to try to kick out the bad times or whatever.
Mhm.
So, with that said, you will have some women who actually live in the past that they want you from the past. And since some of those, and this goes for women too, because you got some men that they want to live out their past. They don't see the future. They don't see that woman has a different mindset now from when you was dating that person,
Mm-hmm.
or vice versa. So therefore, when people they still remember the good times, they're not acting in reality
Mm-hmm.
of what you are now. And so, and depending on who you are now and everything like that, they could call, they could do whatever. But at the same time, they will never grasp that you have changed. And they're and they'll be like, okay, you're part of my past. Now I moved on. As soon as a person get that good image of you out of their brains, 9 times out of 10 they'll actually become better people or
Mm-hmm.
worse people, depending on who they are and their personal flaws, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, a person, if any of the ex that I've had a bad falling out with try to call me and everything like that, and if they come at me correct, I'm like, okay, depending on regardless how I feel, I'm like, okay, we'll talk. But if a person is still, but if you talk to a person and they still want to live in the past and they want to talk about the stuff that they did in the past, I have no room for you in my current progression. I wish you safe. I wish you happiness, but I'm not a part of your happiness anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway,
Yeah, so
well,
anybody who's actually looking at the stream, get them likes up.
mhm. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
Would you believe last night I actually gained 3 subs?
Yeah. I mean, I got yeah. I mean, it was like I was like at 243 and I'm actually at 245 right now.
Mhm.
So hopefully you and I at the end of the year. I hope all three of us, including you, Ramon, that we get our 1,000 subs.
And I
Yeah,
and I
I mean, I need to get to do what you guys are doing because I'm stuck in the 40. I'm not even. I don't even have 100. So yeah, I have a
All
long
right.
way to go.
All right. So therefore, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm just gonna try to change it up. What I'm thinking about doing, right, is that there's guys that that they're YouTube gurus, etc. How they got their first 1,000, and there's a channel that I actually follow, and I'm saying like even though it talks about hood stuff, but you could actually tell that the guy's just a reporter. You gotta check out this guy by the name of Sergio Kwan. He actually has good content. So if you check him out and everything like that, he gives an unbiased opinion on how people lives and everything like that, and give you a perspective on his lifestyle also and what he had been through before anything. So therefore, since he's like at 59K right now, and
Mhm.
you see like how he's actually progressed as being a YouTuber and such, I would I would actually just try to see if we could take some if we could take some cues on being YouTubers or whatsoever. Hopefully, if I do ever come back to the Dominican Republic, I'm trying to make my connections right now. So therefore, whenever I talk to people, we could actually link up and talk
Mhm.
about what I love most, which is Dominican hip hop or the Dominican urban movement, I might say.
Right.
So, with that said, I just need to get more equipment. And if I get more equipment, everything will be good.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah,
because
yeah. Because you can't do everything from your phone. You do have to get kind of like a microphone and maybe something to tweak the sound and make it more professional, because a lot of people, maybe it's working for you, like streaming from your phone, but that's not gonna be enough if you are actually taking it seriously.
exactly. For example, right? There's this guy by the name of Robert Frank 615. Shout out to him, right? Well, you
Mhm.
might have seen his videos, Ramon and Don Jose.
Yeah.
It's like this guy that he's just a bearded guy, and he talks about on Monday we do chess, and then he does these stuff, right, to try to empower you to work out. And so far, I could actually say it's working. You might have seen him on IG, Ramon,
Okay.
where there's a white guy that he speaks perfect Spanish,
Hmm.
into getting to what he's saying. You better get swole.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually with this guy's videos went up and empowered a friend because he had a stalker who was his ex.
Mm.
I actually empowered this guy to don't let that woman um make his day bad or anything like that. So with me just posting the videos and everything, I could actually say that now he's in a better place. He changed his phone number from that female, and now he's working out in the gym more, and he's being swollen.
That's good. Good for him. That's good.
And then this is one thing I got to say to anybody who's feeling down or anything like that. If you feel that life is unfair or anything, I'm just gonna say, do whatever you believe in, and just keep it up because you will reap rewards. Now,
Yeah.
shout out to Urban Dating.
Ah, okay. Hey, Arby, what's going on?
DonArmando, I have the
Yes.
perfect solution to global warming.
Okay.
You know what it would be?
What?
Give me complete climate control worldwide.
I don't start.
All right, hombre.
Don't start with that. No, no. You just want to make this Mr. Freeze planet. I mean, no, we don't want that. We need the warm weather. We need to
Oh,
the
come on.
tropics. We need to be
I'll
able to
be,
go to
I'll,
the beach.
I'll be a benevolent dictator.
There is no such thing.
A benevolent dictator.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's not
okay.
a thing. That's not a thing.
I know. Right? I'm like, okay. The guy that could actually say that would have been a benevolent dictator, to be honest, all
Mhm.
jokes aside, would have been Gaddafi. The reason why I say this, the reason why I say this, right, is because Gaddafi went up and gave married couples a bunch of money when they got married, and he actually provided education to his people and such. So I
Mhm.
could say that he might have been a benevolent dictator. Now, if you actually look at it, you have some dictators that were supported by the U.S. Once you lose the support of the U.S., they're just trying to find some way or somehow, Western powers or not, to try to get rid of you.
Yeah, like Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein Well, it was a dictator that was a puppet of the United States until he started making decisions for on his own for his people, and that's when they had to say like, no, he's got to go.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, here's an example. I would allow one day out of the year when the temperature will reach 85 degrees. Okay.
Oh, it should be like that every day.
Okay. And I'm going to be generous. It will never get colder than 20 below zero in the winter time. And it will never get hotter than
Only
80.
those zeros. No, that's freezing. That's freezing. That's people getting lost in the Everest type of cold that
No,
people don't find them. Hmm.
no, let's call winter.
No, 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 no. That's that like temperatures back all the way up in the Everest. And people coming up missing because they're frozen somewhere.
I
Nobody
mean,
knows where they are.
I
Yeah,
mean,
there are
think,
bodies up there.
think
Still.
about it. I can make Texas a winter wonderland.
Hmm. No.
Uh, I don't know about that because think about it. If let's just say if Texas was the winter wonderland, right? I mean, come on. We're not gonna go and get our big steaks, bro. I don't know, Cole. I don't know, maybe because I'm not a farmer, but I know that you got certain farms like in Europe and everything like that. That that I guess they can be with them bigger cows or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But then if
Oh,
you really look at it, you have certain people in Europe that they still have like still old practices of how they preserve meat, even though they got fridges and stuff right now.
mhm.
Mm. All right.
oh, oh, you know what? I can turn Puerto Rico into a ski resort.
Okay, no, no, no.
No, 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 no,
You're
no,
not
no,
gonna
no.
come at me with that
You,
nightmare.
no,
That's
you
a
bugging.
nightmare for me.
You
Hell no.
bugging.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, come
Jose,
on, you bugging.
stop.
Like, you bugging straight up.
That's enough. That's enough. Enough with enough with the nightmare scenarios because that's a nightmare.
When I think about it, Puerto Rico could be the new Aspen. Aspen.
Hell no, there's already an Aspen. People want to go to Aspen, they can go to the real Aspen. Why turn Puerto Rico into why
Think
turn
about
Puerto
Yo,
Rico
that is funny. That is
I mean, imagine
yo,
being
that
able
is
to,
straight
imagine being able
comedy
to go
right there.
skiing. Imagine being able to go skiing in Puerto Rico.
No.
Yo, bro, if you want to go and try to make anything cold and stuff, just do that in Indonesia. I don't know. Ever since I watched that movie, The Raid 2, and they went up and they pushed that fake scenario with snow and everything like that, it just got me thinking. Now in Indonesia, it never snows at all.
Hmm. Okay.
So if you was to put snow in Indonesia, I think that would be fly. But Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, no.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
No,
is.
no.
In Dominican Republic, technically, there's a place that does snow, but I think that's way up in the north. But
Yeah,
it's
it's,
not the snow. It's not the snow that we know of.
yeah. There are I understand that there are certain parts where it's so elevated, and that's why it
Yeah.
gets chilly. So maybe in
Hmm.
those places, but this like in the high up in altitude, the places that are up in altitude that are chilly. But the rest of the country, no. The rest of the country is nice and warm with rain. That's the trade-off. You don't have to deal with this cold ass weather, but you have to deal with a lot of rain.
First of all, we haven't had winter in New York in years. Okay, we haven't had temperatures.
You just had one. You just had a winter.
We
Stop.
did not. We did not have
What?
winter.
When I got you.
Yeah. See you, Relation.
See a pleasure. But look, you ever notice in the hospitals it gets a little chilly in the
Yeah, it
operating
has
room?
to be. There is a reason for it.
Okay, think about it.
It doesn't have to. Outside of a hospital, in a hospital, it has to be chilly for a reason. Hmm.
It kills germs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember
I mean, I see where you're going with it. Because think about it. If you have if you were to have winter, right? Like in areas that is is considered hot and stuff, you could actually kill the dengue fever if you had to.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I remember. I remember when I was a kid, there was the dengue scare. I mean, they were telling everybody not to have kind of like bottles of water and not to let it sit still. If it was in a pot, make sure to spill it out because whatever water is stuck somewhere, then that's like a breeding ground for dengue. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
remember. I remember that they were talking about that back when I was a kid. Yeah,
Yep.
and
island.
Ramon, just think about it. When it snows, you can lie down on the floor, you can move your arms and legs, and you can make snow angels.
No, I can move around my arms here when I'm at. I don't need to have that cold ass weather. Hell no. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. But stop, Jose. We just came out of a winter, and you had a winter. You had snow where you're at. It
No,
just
we actually didn't though.
it
I
just wasn't
mean,
snow
okay.
for you.
I'm in Philadelphia. We didn't have no snow at all. Tell you the truth.
Okay.
Like in the upper parts of Pennsylvania, yes, but we had no snowstorms and nothing. It was just straight cold weather. That was it.
So you had some slightly chilly weather over there in Philly.
Yeah, but it's like okay, you could have chilly weather, right? And
Hmm.
then there's no snow.
Hmm.
Now if you had some snow and some chilly weather, yeah, that might be good. But we had no damn snow. So I was like, yo, this makes no type of sense.
No, it's not supposed to.
Yeah, I know.
It's not supposed to make sense. Yeah.
Well, and also another thing is another myth. We don't have a huge rat problem. We have a slight mousy problem.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Sure. Sure. We haven't. You've been dealing with that for decades. But only now is that you're finding a solution for it? Nah, I don't believe it. There's more to it.
Look, I have not seen one mouse in Rochester in 5 years.
Nah. Yes. Right. You expect us to believe that? Nah. I can't believe
I
it.
mean,
You have never seen like a mouse or a rat crossing the street or
all
something.
right, all right. And I know that you've been in Parkchester for like a couple of years, Don Jose.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I'm just telling you as a lifelong transient of Parkchester, because I could call Parkchester my second home. I
Hmm.
remember when there were rats, but you see how the train station in Parkchester has changed over the years. At first, it used to be the Bangladeshi news spot that they had like a little kiosk or whatever you may call it, and they sold a whole bunch of their magazines and such. And then there was the Bangladeshis that owned the Teamo store. So within the night, whenever the guys who were the fruit sellers and everything like that, when they was in Parkchester and such, after they did whatever, and I've seen them, they didn't have like good cleaning prep. They had uncleanly practices or whatever. I never really had I never really bought anything from them again. So with that said, it was you know, they had a lot of uncleanly practices. So with that said, That was the bad thing about anything. But now I can't. I've been to Parkchester recently. I mean, when I went to meet Don Jose, and I could actually say there's no rats or anything like that. But growing up, at night, I'm talking about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, that was Rat City. Well, at midnight though.
Okay, my bad. I had to step out. I had to step away for a moment. But what was that last
Yeah, me
part?
too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yo, I'm about to wrap up. So, anybody has any final things to say?
Oh no, just wanted to come by for a few pulling up, showing some support. Appreciate you letting me be on your panel. We'll talk again soon.
All right.
And shout
Well,
out to Jose in the chat.
thank you. Well, I just want to say thank you, DonArmando, for allowing me to be on your platform and to shoot the breeze, so to speak. So I'll be looking forward to when you do future streams. Sometimes I don't get watching live because I'll be doing my own streams and whatnot. But again, as I said before, please subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much, and shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone on the panel.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that came through, all the people that actually support. So, with that said, good night. Peace.
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 Peace.